and she will present to us her program about Encircle Rec. So come on up. Please welcome Tiffany Fairmouth.
I am the founder of Encircle Rec, which is a new nonprofit here in the Magic Valley. And before I get into all the things, I wanted to share a short story about how I got here and how we started this nonprofit. So I actually grew up in Jerome, not too far, and one of the years in high school, I was in charge of one of the kids' basketball camps. And so for that basketball camp, I was in charge of all the coaches and all the kids, what we did, where they went, all the things. And on the first day, the kids were filing into the gym, and there was a little girl with Down syndrome. And I remember in that moment thinking, what am I supposed to do? How is she going to play with everyone? I don't know what to do. And I remember stopping and thinking and feeling such shame, because I realized in that moment that the only reason she would not be able to play was me and how I was thinking. And so from then on, my entire career and everything I've done since has been in disability services and starting this nonprofit. So at Encircle Rec, our mission and all we do is we provide adaptive recreation for people with disabilities. And our three main things are access, adventure, and community. Our vision and our specific vision for the Magic Valley is that everyone can participate in the things that they want to. And we want them all to participate in adaptive recreation. So everyone asks me when I try to talk about it, well, what is adaptive recreation? So I'm going to make you all do a little participation activity, okay? So I want everyone, pick one of your hands, I don't care, and I want you to put it behind your back, okay? Okay. Now, you cannot use that hand now, okay? You too. Okay, now I want you to give me a clap. Perfect. Okay, so you're good. You can put your arms back. Thank you. So I saw everyone do, some people did the same thing, some people did different things, but that's what adaptive recreation is. We all did a clap, we just got there differently. And that is the heart of what adaptive recreation is. So we have four things here. First is access. So that's the physical access of the activity of what we are doing. So are the doors wide enough? Can I get a wheelchair through that door? Are there ramps? Are there handicap spots in the parking lot? Can they get in here? Are there chairs in the way? Are there tables in the way? So we think about how our participants get to the activity and if they can access what they need to. Second is adaptations. And this is what we specifically focus on at Encircle Rec, and that's usually equipment. So specialized equipment for different kinds of disabilities. So for example, if we were to go bowling and someone couldn't grip a bowling ball, we might use one of those ramps that they have at the bowling alley. So just finding different things that work for different disabilities. And then third is inclusion. We want people to feel like they belong. We want to say to them, yes, you should be here. Yes, you can do this. And then lastly is empowerment. And I've been in disability services for a long time, a lot of years, and I find that a lot of the people that I work with have been told no for so long. And when they're told yes, we are going to make that work, it is the best thing to see. And so we really want them to feel that empowerment that yes, they can do it. So who do we specifically serve and why? At Encircle Rec, we serve both youth and adults with disabilities, ages 8 and up, and we do that specifically for our equipment. And what's interesting about Twin Falls is that 10% of people in Twin Falls have a disability. That's around 6,000 people just in Twin Falls. And as a nonprofit, we're actually pulling from the entire Magic Valley. So that's a lot of people that we are going to be serving. And then this is really important to me, and why this nonprofit was started is that people with disabilities participate in recreation 30% than those without. And that can be for a lot of different reasons, but I found mostly it's because of access. There's just not programs around that they can go participate in. And then lastly, in this area, we don't have a lot of adaptive recreation. And at Encircle Rec, we want to provide adaptive recreation year-round. There's a variety of programs that we do provide, and so that maybe you don't want to do kayaking, but maybe you want to do the art program. So we're trying to do things year-round so everyone can participate in something. And then as you can see at the pie chart, these are the different disabilities that we've been seeing sign up for our programs. As you can see, mostly it's developmental. So those are disabilities like autism, Down syndrome, and then physical, that we've had TBIs or an amputee. And then intellectual, we see some learning disabilities with that one. So we are a brand new nonprofit. We just had our first program this July, so we are brand new. And we started with our adaptive kayaking right on the Snake River. And this is our very first participant that I've ever had, and her name is Bridget. So Bridget has severe autism, and she came to the program and she was extremely nervous. She has some sensory issues, and so she was very, very concerned about the water and tipping in. And it was really cool as the program director to show her how our equipment worked. So on the back of the kayak there, we have stabilizers that actually help keep it from tipping. We actually went and tried to test it one day before our program, and I sat on the side of the kayak and was jumping up and down, and I'm pretty sure people were laughing at me, but I couldn't tip that thing. And then we had a specialized paddle system for Bridget. So it's actually attached straight to the kayak, and that's part of our adaptive equipment. So instead of having to hold a paddle, it's more of a push. It's a lot easier on the joints. So Bridget, our program runs for 4 weeks, once a week. So it's a progress throughout the 4 weeks. The first week, Bridget got about maybe 100 yards from the dock. She was very nervous, and we pretty much went in circles for a while, which was fine. And then throughout the week, she got better. She got a little farther, and her mom told me every time she went, her goal is to make it to the bridge. It's her only goal. And so the last week I said, let's go, Bridget, we got it. And we made it to the bridge. We got to watch the base jumpers. And on the way back, this girl was giggling so loud and going 100 miles per hour. I was out of breath following this girl. But that's really the heart of what we do, is those smiles. I don't care what else we're doing, but if they're smiling, enjoying, that's really what I'm looking for. It was amazing to watch her progress throughout the full program, from going right by the dock to all the way to the bridge. And that was great to see. So with adaptive recreation, sometimes it's hard for people to picture exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it. A lot of people think, oh, it's just for fun, it's play. And I can tell you it's not. It's not just play, and it's not just fun. Yes, we want them to have fun, but we have specific goals. So first is their well-being. We make sure that all of our participants are doing okay physically and mentally in our programs. We are actually doing intake forms and exit interviews to make sure that what we're doing throughout our program is doing something for them. And then second is skill development. We don't just want them to participate. We want them to teach them how to participate, educate them on what recreation is, and how to keep participating in things. And then third is access and inclusion, and we've gone over that a lot, but those are really important for those people with disabilities to make sure that they can participate. And then fourth is social interaction. All of our programs are in group settings. So they have several different peers, and they have one-on-one support with a volunteer. So they're being coached through and being led through the activity the entire time. And they get to be with peers that are like themselves. So our first program was adaptive kayaking, and then we're going to add as we go. Next month, we're starting our adaptive art program, and then adaptive hiking and adaptive biking next year. And then as we get bigger as a nonprofit, we'll add even more: bowling, water aerobics, social club, adaptive fitness, and so on. That list will get even longer. As a small nonprofit, we just work really hard to get funding and new equipment so that we can run more and more programs throughout the year. So how we make all of this happen, we rely really heavily on fundraising, especially in the community. This year, we actually did our first ever pickleball tournament, which was extremely fun. And one of the new businesses here, Slice Pickleball, actually helped us with that, which was really kind of them. And so we really try to do our fundraising and also go to businesses to fundraise as well right here in Twin Falls. Second is our volunteers. Our volunteers really, really are the backbone of our nonprofit because they're the ones that are one-on-one with the participants. They are coaching them through the program, they're helping them through the program, they're being trained how to use the equipment, and they're being trained how to work with these different individuals with different disabilities. And then third is our community partners. So like you guys, we love coming to talk to people and spreading the word about what we do, and also working with businesses to get donations for equipment and, of course, money as always for nonprofits. And I always am working with different organizations and things, but individuals are so much more helpful to me as the program director because I need the volunteers. And so if you as an individual want to help out, we need volunteers. If we have 10 participants, we need 10 volunteers. So it's really crucial for us. And second, donate, of course. As a nonprofit, we love donations. We'll take monetary, but we also take in-kind donations. So this is a list of actual different types of equipment that can be purchased specifically for our programs, and that's on our website if you wanted to look at that. And then lastly, spread the word. As a new nonprofit, it is sometimes difficult to get the word out because people just don't know what you're doing or who you are. And so that's really important to us, and we would love people to follow us on social media. That's where a lot of our updates are on what we're doing, the pictures from our programs, and I think it's really fun to share that. So that's how to help as an individual, and I think that's all that I had, and I would love any questions anyone have.
Have you hooked up with the adaptive climbing group at Gemstone?
Yeah, we've talked to them. We wanted to make sure that we weren't stepping on any toes when we started everything. So I was planning on doing adaptive climbing, but since they were doing it, we're trying to do things that they are not doing. So yes, we have talked to them. It's a great program over there.
How do participants get chosen or enroll themselves? Or?
Yeah, so all of our participants have to do an intake form. So it's a rigorous intake form about their disability, what their needs are with their disability. So a lot of times we either have participants, caregivers, or parents filling out that intake form. And so I'm a therapeutic recreation specialist. I review those and make sure that they can safely do the activity, and then they're accepted into the program after that review. We just started with kayaking. Kayaking, we had two participants, and then for our adaptive art, we're looking up to 10. That registration's still open. So far.
So, what are you looking at donation-wise? What's your estimated budget that you need for next year? What did you raise also?
So we do our budget based on each individual program. Next year, we're focusing on cycling at the moment. Our budget for that is $20,000. Each adaptive bike is around $6,000, depending on the adaptive bike. So we are looking at $20,000 for that program. We just got funding for our adaptive art program, so that one's covered. And for our other programs, we haven't been working on the budget yet. We've been focusing on those two. Right now, we've been doing grants, so we just actually want a St. Luke's grant, and that's what we've been looking at so far. Any other questions? Thank you guys so much for having us.